What if I told you that the very moment you change your relationship with money, money changes its relationship with you? What if everything you've been taught about wealth has been backwards? Stay with me, because in the next few minutes, I'm going to share something that completely transformed not just my bank account, but my entire understanding of abundance. And it might just transform yours too. Now, you might not immediately think of money as spiritual, but imagine this. What if money is simply energy in motion? What if it's the universe expressing its infinite abundance through a form you can understand and use? I want you to think about electricity for a moment. You can't see electricity itself, but you can see its effects. Lights turning on, devices powering up, energy flowing through circuits. Money works the same way. It's invisible energy made visible, consciousness expressing itself in physical form. When you truly understand this, everything changes. When you spend money, you're not losing something. You're directing energy. You're choosing where to send the flow of universal abundance. Each purchase becomes a conscious vote for the kind of world you want to create. And this is where most people get it completely wrong. They see money as scarce, as something finite that must be hoarded and protected. But energy, by its very nature, must flow. When you dam up a river, it eventually finds another way to flow. When you hoard money out of fear, you're actually blocking the very flow that would bring you more. Here's something that changed my entire perspective. I started treating money like breath. You don't hold your breath out of fear that there won't be more air available. You breathe in, you breathe out, trusting completely that the next breath will be there. Money works the same way. It's meant to flow in and flow out in a natural rhythm of receiving and giving. Now I want you to picture yourself standing by a river, not just any river, but an endless river of abundance that has been flowing since the beginning of time. This river doesn't judge your past financial mistakes or worry about your future fears. It doesn't care about your credit score or your current bank balance. It simply flows, carrying unlimited wealth, unlimited opportunities, unlimited possibilities. But here's the million-dollar question. Why isn't everyone wealthy if this flow is so abundant? The answer lies not in the river itself, but in how you connect with this flow. Think of it this way. The river is always there, always flowing, but your connection to it depends entirely on your inner state. When you're open, confident, and assume abundance is your natural birthright, you align with the flow. When you're closed off by fear, doubt, or beliefs in limitation, you create resistance that blocks the flow. It's not punishment. It's simply how consciousness works. The universe doesn't withhold abundance from you. You withhold yourself from abundance through your beliefs and mental patterns. I learned this lesson the hard way. For years, I stood by this river of abundance, but couldn't drink from it because I was convinced I wasn't worthy, that I had to earn it through struggle and sacrifice. The moment I realized that worthiness isn't something you earn, but something you are, everything began to shift. Let me share something deeply personal with you. I used to have what I call a poverty consciousness. Money felt heavy, complicated, always just out of reach. I would lie awake at night, calculating bills, worried about the future, carrying this constant undercurrent of financial anxiety. Sound familiar? But then something remarkable happened. I began to see money not as my master or my enemy, but as energy that responds to my inner state. Just like a tuning fork vibrates at a specific frequency and causes other tuning forks to resonate at the same frequency, your thoughts and feelings about money create a vibrational signature that either attracts or repels financial opportunities. And the transformation starts with one simple but profound shift. Stop seeing money as something outside of yourself that you need to chase, compete for, or struggle to obtain. Start seeing it as energy that naturally flows towards states of gratitude, confidence, joy, and abundance. Here's a practice that changed everything for me. Every morning before I even get out of bed, I spend 5 minutes feeling grateful for money itself. Not just the money I have, but money as a concept, as energy, as a tool for good in the world. I thank money for all the ways it serves humanity, funding hospitals, supporting artists, feeding families, enabling innovations that make life better. This isn't just positive thinking, it's energetic alignment. When you appreciate money's true purpose and value, you become someone that money wants to work with. Right now, pause and ask yourself, what do I really believe about money? Do I see it as limited? Do I believe I have to work harder than everyone else to have it? Do I think wealthy people are somehow fundamentally different from me? Do I feel guilty about wanting more money? These beliefs aren't just thoughts floating around in your head. They're instructions you're giving to your subconscious mind about what to create in your experience. Your subconscious mind is like the most sophisticated computer ever created, and it's programmed by your beliefs. But here's how you change the game. You start by becoming aware of these limiting programs, then consciously choose to install new ones. Instead of money is hard to come by, try money flows to me easily and naturally. Instead of I'm not good with money, try I'm becoming wiser and more skillful with money every day. Feel the difference in your body when you say each version. Your body is a sophisticated guidance system that will tell you which beliefs serve your highest good. Now let's go deeper. Many of our money beliefs aren't even our own. They're inherited from our families, our culture, our past experiences. I want you to imagine that every limiting belief about money you've ever had was like a dam in that river of abundance I mentioned earlier. Each inherited belief, money doesn't grow on trees, rich people are greedy, you have to work hard for money, I don't deserve wealth, creates a block in the flow. Now imagine what happens when you consciously choose to remove those dams. The river flows freely again. But here's the crucial part. You have to actively choose to remove them. No one else can do this inner work for you. Start by questioning each belief. Is this serving me? Is this creating the financial life I want? Where did this belief come from? If it's not serving you, it's time to let it go and replace it with something that does. Here's where visualization comes into play. Visualization isn't about pretending or wishful thinking. It's about using your imagination to align your inner state with your desired outer reality. Your subconscious mind doesn't distinguish between vividly imagined experiences and actual experiences. This is why athletes use visualization to improve performance, and why you can use it to improve your financial life. But most people visualize incorrectly. They focus only on the external, the big house, the fancy car, the numbers in the bank account. While these images can be helpful, they're not the most powerful part of visualization. The real power lies in feeling the emotions you would experience in your desired financial state. When you visualize financial freedom, don't just see the numbers. Feel the peace that comes with financial security. Feel the joy of being able to help others generously. Feel the freedom to make choices based on what you love rather than what you fear. There's a secret most visualization teachers won't tell you. It's not about forcing the universe to give you what you want. It's about becoming the person who naturally attracts and maintains what you desire. Now, here's my visualization technique that has transformed my life. Every night before sleep, I spend 10 minutes imagining myself 1 year from now having achieved my financial goals. But I don't just see the external results. I feel into the person I've become. How do I carry myself? How do I make decisions? How do I interact with money? How do I feel about myself? This practice doesn't just help manifest financial goals. It literally rewires your brain to think, feel, and act like the financially successful person you're becoming. And get crystal clear about what financial freedom means to you personally. Vague desires create vague results. Saying I want more money is like saying I want to go somewhere without specifying where. The universe responds to clarity and specificity. So what does financial freedom mean to you? Is it having 6 months of expenses saved? Is it earning enough to support your family comfortably while also having time for what matters most? Is it having the freedom to travel, to give generously, to start that business you've been dreaming about? But setting intentions is not enough. And this is where most people stop. They set the goal but don't align their entire being with that intention. Your financial intentions need to be supported not just by actions, but by a complete transformation of your identity. True intention is about becoming the person who naturally creates and maintains the financial reality you desire. It's about aligning your thoughts, feelings, beliefs, and actions with your vision. I've learned to treat my financial intentions as sacred contracts, both with myself and with life itself. When you approach your goals with this level of reverence and commitment, you tap into a power that goes far beyond willpower or positive thinking. One practice that has been truly transformative for me is writing my financial intentions not just as goals, but as prayers. I don't simply ask for money. I ask for the wisdom to use it well, for opportunities to serve others through my wealth, and for the character to handle abundance with grace and generosity. This transforms money from something you want to get in to something you want to become worthy of receiving. There's a profound difference between desperate action and inspired action, and understanding this difference will revolutionize your financial life. Desperate action comes from fear. I have to make money, or else something terrible will happen. This energy repels opportunities because it carries the vibration of lack and desperation. Inspired action comes from alignment. I feel called to take this step because it feels right and expansive. This energy attracts opportunities because it carries the vibration of confidence and abundance. Trust your intuition more than your fears. That nudge to learn a new skill, to reach out to someone you haven't spoken to in years, to invest in yourself, to start that side project. These aren't random thoughts. They're your inner wisdom guiding you toward your financial goals. And here's how you know the difference. Inspired action feels expansive, even if it's challenging or scary. You feel energized by the possibility, even if you're not sure how it will work out. Desperate action feels contractive and draining. You feel like you're pushing against resistance, forcing something that doesn't want to happen. I've learned to make inspired action a daily practice. Each morning, after my gratitude and visualization practice, I ask myself, what action feels most aligned and inspired today? Then I trust whatever comes up, even if it seems small or unrelated to my financial goals. Some of my biggest financial breakthroughs have come from following these subtle inner promptings. The business partnership that transformed my income came from a random urge to attend a networking event I almost didn't go to. The investment opportunity that doubled my savings came from a conversation I had while standing in line at a coffee shop. Now let's talk about fear. Because if you're human, you felt fear around money, fear about not having enough, fear about losing what you have, fear about not being worthy of more. These fears are ancient and deep, rooted in our survival instincts. But they don't have to control your financial future. When fear arises, don't fight it or try to think positive thoughts to push it away. Instead, get curious about it. Fear about money is often fear about something much deeper. Fear about your safety, your worth, your ability to survive and thrive in the world. Acknowledge the fear. I notice I'm feeling afraid about money right now. This fear is trying to protect me, but it's based on old programming that no longer serves me. Then choose a different thought. I am safe. I am provided for. I am worthy of abundance. And here's what I learned about fear that changed everything. Fear isn't your enemy. It's information. It's showing you where you still believe in limitation instead of abundance, where you still carry old wounds that need healing. I used to let financial fear paralyze me, keeping me stuck in jobs I hated and situations that felt safe but stifling. Now I use fear as a compass, pointing me toward the areas where I need to grow and expand. Every time you feel fear around money and choose to act from love and abundance anyway, you literally rewire your nervous system. You teach your body that it's safe to be abundant, safe to receive, safe to expand beyond your comfort zone. Money isn't good or evil. It's neutral energy that amplifies your intentions and values. When you honor money's true value as a tool for good, for freedom, for service, you create a healthy and empowering relationship with it. This means treating money with the respect it deserves, not hoarding it out of fear, not spending it carelessly or unconsciously, but using it as a conscious tool to create the life and impact you desire. Think about this. Money is stored human energy. Every dollar represents someone's time, creativity, and life force. When you honor this, you honor the interconnectedness of all life, the web of giving and receiving that sustains our world. And this brings us to something most people never consider. What if your financial success isn't just about you? What if you're meant to be a conduit for abundance, not just for your own benefit, but for the benefit of everyone whose life you touch? I've noticed that the wealthiest, most fulfilled people I know don't see money as something to accumulate for its own sake. They see themselves as stewards of abundance, using their wealth to create positive impact in the world. This shift in perspective, from personal accumulation to sacred stewardship, has been one of the most powerful transformations in my financial journey. When you see yourself as a channel for good, money flows to you more easily because it knows it will be used wisely and lovingly. You don't have to figure out your financial path alone, whether you call it intuition, higher self, divine guidance, or simply your wisest inner knowing. There's a wisdom available to you that sees beyond your current circumstances and limitations. This wisdom knows opportunities you haven't yet seen, connections you haven't yet made, possibilities you haven't yet imagined. Learning to access and trust this guidance is one of the most valuable financial skills you can develop. Ask for guidance, not just on specific investments or business decisions, but on how to align your entire financial life with your highest purpose. Pray for wisdom, for clarity, for the courage to act on your inner knowing. And here's where it gets really interesting. When you align your financial goals with your soul's purpose, you tap into a power that goes far beyond your personal will and effort. You become part of a larger flow of good that wants to express itself through you. I've learned to start each day by asking, how can I use money to serve love today? This simple question has guided me toward opportunities I never would have discovered through strategic thinking alone. Sometimes the guidance comes as a sudden knowing, sometimes as a feeling of excitement about a particular direction, sometimes as doors that open or close in unexpected ways. The key is to stay open, stay present, and trust that you're being guided toward your highest good. Your relationship with money is ultimately your relationship with life itself, with your own creative power, with your ability to give and receive love. When you see money as a sacred partner in creating good in the world, rather than as your master or your enemy, everything changes. Money becomes a tool for expressing your deepest values, supporting your most cherished dreams, and serving others in meaningful ways. It becomes a way to vote for the kind of world you want to live in, with every purchase, investment, and gift. This sacred partnership requires mutual respect. You honor money by using it consciously and wisely. Money honors you by flowing to you in increasing abundance as you prove yourself to be a good steward of its power. And this brings us to the most important lesson of all. True wealth isn't about accumulating, it's about flowing. When you give generously and receive gracefully, when you see yourself as part of an infinite circulation of good, you become a channel through which the universe's abundance can flow. This doesn't mean giving beyond your means or receiving with guilt. It means recognizing that you are part of an infinite flow of giving and receiving, and the more fully you participate in that flow, the more abundant all areas of your life become. The circle of giving and receiving is one of the most fundamental patterns in the universe. Breathe in, breathe out. Tides flow in, tides flow out. Energy moves through endless cycles of expansion and contraction. When you align your relationship with money with this natural rhythm, you tap into the very heartbeat of creation itself. Now here's what I want you to remember as we come to the end of our time together. Your current financial situation is not your permanent reality. It's simply a reflection of your past thoughts, beliefs, and actions around money. And if it's a reflection of the past, that means it can be changed by creating new thoughts, beliefs, and actions in the present. The moment you truly understand that you are not a victim of circumstances, but a creator of experiences, everything begins to shift. You move from hoping things will get better to knowing you have the power to make them better. And if you're ready to change that reflection, to step into a new financial reality, start today with one simple practice from everything we've discussed. Choose the one that resonated most deeply with you. Maybe it's the morning gratitude practice. Maybe it's the evening visualization. Maybe it's simply treating every financial interaction as sacred. Commit to this practice for the next 30 days, not because you have to, but because you're excited to discover who you become when you consistently align your inner world with abundance. Because here's the ultimate truth that will transform your financial life. You are not chasing abundance. Abundance is seeking you. It has been seeking you your entire life. Your only job is to remove the blocks that prevent you from receiving it, to become a clear channel for its flow, to align yourself with its generous and infinite nature. Your financial transformation isn't just about you. It's about what becomes possible in the world when you step into your full power as a creator, as a steward, as a channel for good. The world needs your gifts, your service, your unique contribution, and it wants to support you abundantly as you share those gifts. The sacred art of money manifestation isn't really about manifesting money at all. It's about manifesting the highest version of yourself, the version that naturally attracts, creates, and maintains abundance in all its forms. Remember, you are not separate from abundance. You are abundance expressing itself in human form. Act like it. Think like it. Feel like it. Become it.
Have you ever experienced a moment so perfectly timed, so perfectly aligned, that you couldn't help but feel the universe was speaking directly to you? That is no coincidence. When you see a sign, whether it's a number, a phrase, a chance encounter, or a sudden thought, it is the universe whispering that it has a grand plan for you. Pay attention. Notice it. Feel it deeply. Your attention is a magnet. Where you focus, energy flows. When you notice these signs, it is not random. You are being guided gently toward what you are meant to receive. It may appear small at first, but these little nudges are building toward something monumental. Trust them. Follow them. Do not doubt the power of your imagination. What you imagine with feeling and conviction is already shaping your reality. The universe moves to your inner world first. Your inner vision, your sense of fulfillment, your awareness of already having what you desire, these are the forces that manifest the extraordinary in your life. You may not see the full picture yet, but that is the nature of the invisible. Trust it. Trust that the unseen hands of creation are orchestrating every detail of your life. Your present circumstances are not the measure of your future. They are merely the stage for the unfolding of your destiny. Live as if your desires have already been fulfilled. Feel them, speak them, see them in your mind's eye. When you act as if your life is already complete, you align yourself with the energy of manifestation. The universe responds to feeling, to conviction, to the certainty that what you want is already yours. Align your emotion with your expectation. Excitement, gratitude, and faith are not just feelings. They are signals to the universe that you are ready. Ready to receive. Ready to step into your destiny. Ready to embrace the grand plan designed uniquely for you. So when you see a sign today, do not dismiss it. It is a message, a pointer, a golden thread in the tapestry of your life. It says, you are on the path. Your destiny is calling. Prepare yourself for greatness. Every moment of your life is brimming with messages from the universe, and yet most people pass them by without noticing. When something catches your attention, a repeated number, a chance encounter, a word in a song, or even a fleeting thought, it is never by accident. These seemingly small everyday occurrences are the universe's way of guiding you, directing you, and confirming that you are on the path that aligns with your destiny. The world around you is alive with signs. And these signs are not random. They are carefully orchestrated to bring you awareness, clarity, and insight into your life's journey. When you begin to see life through the lens of awareness, you start to notice that nothing happens without purpose. The universe communicates constantly, but its language is subtle. It speaks in symbols, synchronicities, and moments of resonance that capture your attention precisely when you are ready to receive them. A missed connection, a familiar phrase, a sudden idea, they are all whispers from a reality that is greater than the physical world you inhabit. They are clues pointing toward opportunities, awakenings, and the fulfillment of your desires. The beauty of this communication is that it requires nothing from you except attention. You do not have to force it, control it, or manipulate it. The signs appear naturally when your mind and heart are open to noticing them. When you pause and allow yourself to truly see, you realize that the universe is speaking to you in your language. It is always present, always active, and always working on your behalf, even when your conscious mind cannot perceive the mechanics of its operation. The moment you acknowledge these signs, you activate a powerful shift within yourself. You move from being passive in life to becoming an active participant in your own destiny. You begin to recognize that you are co-creating with the universe, responding to its gentle prompts, and aligning yourself with its flow. Each sign you notice becomes a building block, a confirmation that you are moving in the right direction. This awareness transforms ordinary experiences into extraordinary guidance. A red light on your way to work may remind you to slow down and reflect. A phrase in a conversation may spark the solution to a problem you have been pondering. A chance meeting may open the door to a new opportunity. The universe is constantly offering you these signs, and when you pay attention, you discover that life itself is a mirror, reflecting the path toward your highest good. It is crucial to understand that ignoring these signs or dismissing them as coincidence deprives you of the guidance that could accelerate your growth, your success, and your happiness. The universe's messages are precise, personal, and powerful. Each time you recognize a sign, you deepen your connection with the unseen forces orchestrating your life, and you strengthen your ability to manifest the reality you desire. Nothing is ever by chance. Everything you notice is a sign. It is the universe speaking directly to you, affirming that you are exactly where you need to be, and encouraging you to trust the process of your life unfolding in perfect order. Where you place your attention determines the course of your life. Your mind is a powerful magnet, constantly attracting the experiences, people, and opportunities that correspond to what you focus on. Every thought, every emotion, every observation is a signal to the universe, guiding the energy around you toward the reality you are creating. When you notice something repeatedly, when a particular idea or image captures your imagination, or when a certain feeling stirs within you, it is not mere coincidence. This is the universe responding to where your attention is directed, aligning circumstances and events to reflect the focus of your inner world. Understanding this principle changes everything. Most people go through life scattering their attention, reacting to external circumstances, without realizing that their inner focus is the true force shaping their reality. They wonder why life seems random, why opportunities appear sporadically, or why their desires remain unfulfilled. The answer is simple. Where their attention goes, energy follows. If the mind is preoccupied with worry, doubt, or scarcity, that is exactly what manifests in their world. But when attention is consciously directed toward what you truly desire, toward the possibilities that excite and inspire you, the universe begins to move in harmony with that focus. Seeing a sign, then, is far more than a momentary observation. It is a clear indication that your attention has aligned with your destiny. The universe speaks to you in ways that your conscious mind can perceive, sending symbols, synchronicities, and experiences that mirror the desires and intentions you hold in your mind. By recognizing these signs and giving them your focused attention, you are effectively saying to the universe, I am ready. I am aligned. Show me the way. Each sign becomes a confirmation, a gentle nudge that the path you are on is the path you were meant to follow. It is essential to realize that attention is not passive. It is an active, creative force. Every thought you entertain, every image you dwell upon, and every emotion you cultivate sends ripples through the unseen currents of life. When you focus on fear, limitation, or doubt, the energy of those states multiplies in your experience. But when you focus on hope, possibility, abundance, and joy, you magnetize circumstances that correspond to those feelings. In this way, attention is both the lens through which you perceive the world and the magnet that draws your desired outcomes toward you. By consciously directing your attention to the signs and signals around you, you participate in the co-creation of your reality. The universe is always ready to respond, always ready to guide, but it requires your focus to channel its energy effectively. When you notice a pattern, a repeated message, or a striking coincidence, recognize it as a beacon, a guiding light illuminating the next step on your journey. Your attention shapes your destiny. It draws experiences that reflect your inner state. It amplifies your intentions, and it opens doors to opportunities that might otherwise remain hidden. Each moment you give mindful attention to the signs of your life, you reinforce the truth that where your focus goes, energy flows, and the universe is actively guiding you toward the realization of your highest potential. Your inner vision is far more powerful than the world around you might suggest. What you see, feel, and imagine in your mind is not simply a dream or a fleeting thought. It is the blueprint of your reality, already in motion, already influencing the life you are about to experience. Every idea, every image, and every scenario you hold with conviction in your imagination sends a signal to the universe, shaping circumstances to match the vision you carry within. The moment you truly believe in what you imagine, you begin to align with the unseen forces that are orchestrating the manifestation of your desires. Imagination is not idle fantasy. It is the creative engine behind everything that exists. The things you see around you today were once imagined by someone, somewhere, with unwavering belief. The walls you sit within, the technology you rely on, the abundance you witness in the world, all of it began as a vision in someone's mind. In the same way, your inner visions are already in the process of becoming real, even if your external circumstances have yet to reflect them. That's why your inner vision should be very familiar to every single person in the world. The things you see around you today were already in the process of becoming real, even if your external circumstances have yet to reflect them. When you imagine with conviction, you are effectively planting seeds in the fertile soil of reality, seeds that the universe is ready to cultivate and bring to fruition. Belief is the bridge between imagination and reality. It is not enough to simply picture what you want. You must feel it as true, know it as real, and hold it as already accomplished. When you imagine with this depth of conviction, your subconscious mind accepts it as fact. Your actions, emotions, and energy begin to harmonize with that inner vision, and the universe responds in kind. Opportunities, ideas, and events begin to align around you, reflecting the reality that you have already accepted within. What you see in your mind with certainty is already shaping the contours of your life, even if the physical manifestation is still on its way. Doubt and fear are the only forces that can obscure the power of your inner vision. When you hesitate, question, or doubt the reality of what you imagine, you weaken the signal you send to the universe. The image in your mind loses its clarity, and the alignment with your desires falters. On the other hand, unwavering belief strengthens the connection between your inner world and the outer world. Every moment spent imagining with conviction is a moment spent co-creating your future, a future that is already responding to the energy you emit. Your inner vision is personal, unique, and perfectly suited to you. Trust it, nurture it, and give it the attention it deserves. When you do, you will notice subtle changes in your life. Ideas appearing, people arriving, doors opening, reflecting the power of what you hold in your mind. This is not wishful thinking, it is a natural law. The universe does not distinguish between imagined and physical reality. When the vision is held with conviction, it begins to move to make the inner world visible in the outer world, turning imagination into experience, thought into form, and belief into reality. To truly believe in your inner vision is to recognize that your imagination is the workshop of creation. It is the unseen architect of your life, shaping every detail according to the energy, conviction, and faith you pour into it. When you imagine with certainty and trust the process, you are not merely dreaming. You are already living the reality you seek, and the world will eventually reflect exactly what you hold firmly within your mind. Your current circumstances are not the measure of your future. Too often people look around at their present situation and assume that it defines what is possible for them. They see limitations, challenges, and delays, and they believe that these external conditions are permanent, that they are the truth of their reality. But what you see with your eyes is only a small fraction of the story. The true forces that shape your life are invisible. They operate beyond the reach of the senses, moving silently, steadily, and powerfully toward your success, even when you cannot perceive them. Trusting the invisible means understanding that the world you experience is the result of a greater, unseen order. The circumstances surrounding you are like a temporary stage, a backdrop that will shift as your inner state changes. The universe is constantly orchestrating events, arranging opportunities, and aligning circumstances in perfect timing for your highest good. What you see now is not final. It is merely the beginning of a process you cannot yet fully comprehend. By trusting the invisible, you place yourself in harmony with these unseen forces, allowing them to work on your behalf without interference from doubt, fear, or impatience. Faith in the unseen requires a shift in perspective. Instead of reacting to the surface of life, you learn to look deeper, to sense the movement of energy and intention beneath every situation. The invisible world responds to your beliefs, your focus, and the energy you radiate. When you align your thoughts and feelings with the outcome you desire, the unseen forces begin to shape the external reality to match your inner state. Every sign, every synchronicity, Every sudden opportunity is a reflection of this invisible orchestration, guiding you steadily toward the fulfillment of your dreams. It is natural to question what you cannot see, to doubt what is not yet tangible. Yet the greatest successes in life come to those who trust the unseen, who continue to act with faith even when results are not immediately visible. Your current situation does not define you. It is simply a temporary expression of your inner beliefs. By holding fast to the invisible, by trusting that the universe is working behind the scenes, you cultivate patience, resilience, and clarity. You learn to move forward with confidence, knowing that what is meant for you is already on its way, even if you cannot see it yet. Trusting the invisible is also about surrender. It is the recognition that you do not need to control every detail, that you are not responsible for every outcome. When you trust the unseen, you release resistance, allowing life to flow in ways that are often far greater than you could orchestrate yourself. You stop fighting against the present and begin cooperating with the creative forces that are orchestrating your life. The unseen is always working for you, even when circumstances seem contrary, when doors appear closed and paths appear blocked. There is a silent guidance arranging everything to bring your desires to fruition. Trust it. Align yourself with it. Know that your success is already being orchestrated in ways that transcend what you can see. Your future is not limited by what exists today. It is shaped by the invisible forces responding to your faith, your focus, and your readiness to receive. So join me. Success is not limited by what exists today. It is shaped by the invisible forces responding to your faith, your focus, and your readiness to receive. By trusting the invisible, you step into the power of creation itself and open the door for the universe to bring your highest potential into reality. To live in the end means to immerse yourself fully in the feeling of your desire already fulfilled. Most people live their lives focused on what is missing, what has not yet happened, or what seems impossible in the present moment. They chase outcomes, strive against circumstances, and measure reality by what is visible. But the key to manifestation lies not in the struggle, not in the effort, but in the ability to mentally and emotionally inhabit the state of having already received what you want. To live in the end is to create a reality within your mind and heart that the universe can then reflect outward. When you feel as if your desires are already accomplished, your thoughts, emotions, and actions naturally align with that state. You are no longer looking for validation from the outside world because you have already validated it internally. This alignment is magnetic. The energy you radiate when you live in the end resonates with circumstances, people, and opportunities that correspond to that reality. You become a living signal to the universe, a clear declaration that what you desire is not a distant hope, but a present truth in your consciousness. Living in the end requires imagination and conviction. It is not a superficial wish or a casual daydream. It is a deliberate, vivid experience of the reality you wish to manifest. Imagine the scenes, the sounds, the feelings, and the details of your life as if your desire has already materialized. Feel the joy, the gratitude, the excitement, and the peace that comes with receiving it. The more real and alive your inner experience, the stronger the signal you send to the universe. This feeling acts like a magnet, drawing your desire toward you effortlessly, without forcing, chasing, or struggling. Many people make the mistake of living in the middle, partly in desire, partly in lack. They say they want something, yet their actions, doubts, and thoughts betray a belief that it is not yet theirs. The universe responds to your dominant state, and if that state is lack, frustration, or uncertainty, it manifests accordingly. By living in the end, you shift your dominant state to fulfillment, certainty, and satisfaction. You step into the reality you wish to create, and in doing so, align yourself with the natural flow of life. Gratitude is a powerful companion to living in the end. When you appreciate the reality as if it already exists, you deepen your connection to it. Gratitude amplifies the feeling of fulfillment and strengthens the impression upon your subconscious mind. The subconscious cannot distinguish between what is imagined vividly and what is experienced physically. It accepts the end as already accomplished and moves all of your thoughts, behaviors, and circumstances into harmony with it. Living in the end is not about waiting passively. It is about creating from a place of completion. It is about embodying the truth of your desires now, in this moment, so that your inner world becomes the fertile soil from which your outer reality blossoms. By consistently feeling, imagining, and believing in the state of already having what you want, you effortlessly attract it into your life. This is the art of manifestation, the secret that transforms hope into reality, thought into experience, and desire into living fulfillment. Your emotions are the most powerful language you have with the universe. They are the currents through which your intentions flow and the signals that shape the reality you experience. To align your emotion with expectation means to cultivate feelings that match the outcome you desire even before it has physically manifested. It is the conscious practice of feeling excitement, gratitude, and unwavering faith as if your dreams are already realized. When your inner emotional state resonates with the vision you hold, you create a magnetic force that draws circumstances, people, and opportunities into alignment with that state. Excitement is a declaration to the universe that you are ready to receive. When you feel excited about a desire as though it is already yours, you signal that you are open and receptive. Excitement infuses your energy with vitality, enthusiasm, and anticipation, creating an irresistible pull toward the manifestation of your desires. It is not merely a fleeting feeling, it is a deliberate focus on the joy of the outcome, a pre-experiencing of what is to come. When you cultivate this excitement, your subconscious mind accepts it as the reality, and the external world begins to respond accordingly. Gratitude acts as the amplifier of your expectations. To feel grateful for what you are about to receive is to acknowledge the abundance that already exists, even if it has not yet appeared in physical form. Gratitude shifts your mind away from lack and limitation, placing it squarely in a state of recognition and appreciation. This feeling bridges the gap between desire and reality, reinforcing the conviction that what you seek is inevitable. When your heart is filled with genuine gratitude, the universe responds with increased alignment, providing you with the resources, guidance, and opportunities necessary to fulfill your expectations. Faith is the anchor that sustains your emotional alignment. It is the quiet certainty that what you have imagined, what you have felt and believed, is already being orchestrated in the unseen realm. Faith does not depend on external evidence or immediate results. It exists independently of circumstances, creating a steadfast inner certainty. When your faith is strong, it holds your emotions steady in the direction of your expectation, preventing doubt, fear, or impatience from disturbing the alignment. This unwavering trust acts as a signal to the universe that you are prepared to receive, allowing the unseen forces to operate unhindered. Aligning emotion with expectation requires consistency and mindfulness. It is not enough to think positively for a few moments or to hope that your desires will manifest. You must consistently inhabit the feeling of already having what you seek, maintaining a state of emotional resonance with your vision. This alignment transforms the invisible into the tangible, allowing your inner world to dictate the unfolding of your outer reality. When excitement, gratitude, and faith are harmonized with your expectations, you create a powerful energetic frequency that cannot be ignored by the universe. It is through this alignment that desires move from imagination into manifestation, that opportunities appear seemingly by coincidence, and that your life unfolds in perfect accordance with your highest good. By cultivating these emotions deliberately, you strengthen your connection to the universe's plan for you, inviting the seamless realization of your dreams and stepping fully into the life that has always been waiting for you. In conclusion, every sign, every feeling, and every thought in your life is a reflection of the grand design the universe has for you. By noticing the signs, focusing your attention, believing in your inner vision, trusting the unseen, living in the end, and aligning your emotions with your expectations, you step into a life of effortless manifestation. Happy 30th anniversary to us. You become a conscious participant in the creation of your reality, co-creating with forces far greater than yourself and opening the doors to opportunities, abundance, and fulfillment that were always meant for you. Remember, the universe is constantly guiding you. All you need to do is recognize the signs, embrace them, and allow yourself to receive what is already yours. Thank you for listening and taking the time to connect with these powerful truths. May you walk forward with faith, clarity, and excitement, knowing that your life is unfolding exactly as it should.
My dear friends, tonight, I want you to consider something that will shake the very foundation of everything you believe about your world. What if I told you that the chair you're sitting in, the room around you, even the thoughts racing through your mind right now, what if none of it is as solid, as fixed, as permanent as you've been led to believe? You see, there's a secret hiding in plain sight, a secret so profound, so revolutionary, that when you truly grasp it, you'll never see your life the same way again. The secret is this: reality is an echo of what you ask, an echo of consciousness itself, an echo of the invisible creative power that dwells within you right now, at this very moment, whether you're aware of it or not. But before we dive into this mystery, let me ask you something that might disturb you. Have you ever wondered why your life keeps repeating the same patterns? Why, no matter how hard you try to change your circumstances, you find yourself in familiar situations, dealing with familiar problems, surrounded by familiar limitations? You change jobs, but somehow the same workplace drama follows you. You move to a new city, but the same type of people appear in your life. You promise yourself you'll be different this time, but there you are again, making the same choices, getting the same results. Why does this happen? Is it fate? Is it bad luck? Are you cursed? No, my friend. It's because you haven't understood the fundamental truth about creation itself. You haven't grasped that you are not a victim of your world. You are the author of it. Now I know what you're thinking. Neville, that's impossible. I didn't choose to be born where I was born. I didn't choose my family, my circumstances, the challenges I face. And you're right. Your conscious mind didn't choose these things. But there's another mind at work here, a deeper mind, and it's been busy creating your world from the inside out, whether you know it or not. Let me take you back to a fundamental principle that most people never truly comprehend. As within, so without. This isn't just pretty poetry or wishful thinking. This is the mechanics of creation itself. You see, consciousness is not produced by your brain. Consciousness is what's producing everything you call reality, including your brain. Modern quantum physics is beginning to catch up with what the ancient mystics always knew. The observer affects the observed. The act of conscious observation literally determines what manifests in the physical world. Scientists have discovered something extraordinary in their laboratories. When they observe a subatomic particle, it behaves like a particle, solid, predictable, measurable. But when no one is looking, that same particle exists as a wave of infinite possibilities, spread across space and time, neither here nor there, but everywhere and nowhere simultaneously. The moment conscious observation enters the picture, the wave collapses into a single reality. One possibility becomes actual, while infinite others fade into the quantum foam. Now here's where it gets fascinating. You are doing this same thing with your entire life. Every moment of every day. Your consciousness is collapsing waves of infinite possibility into the specific reality you experience. But here's the crucial part that most people miss. It's not your conscious thinking mind that's doing this. It's your subconscious mind, your deeper consciousness that's operating like a cosmic particle accelerator, taking your deepest beliefs, assumptions, and feelings about yourself and your world, and crystallizing them into physical experience. This is why I say, reality is an echo. When you shout into a canyon, what comes back to you? Your own voice, transformed by the landscape, but unmistakably yours. When you project consciousness into the quantum field of infinite possibilities, what comes back to you? Your own inner state, transformed into circumstances, relationships, opportunities, and challenges, but unmistakably reflecting what you've been broadcasting from within. Have you ever noticed that when you're in a truly good mood, I mean genuinely joyful, not just putting on a happy face, suddenly everyone seems friendlier. Opportunities appear from nowhere. Even traffic lights seem to turn green just for you. You might dismiss this as coincidence, but what if it's not? What if you're literally tuning the frequency of your reality? Your subconscious mind is like a quantum radio transmitter, broadcasting on the frequency of your dominant inner state. And the universe, that infinite field of possibilities, is like a cosmic radio receiver, picking up your signal and broadcasting back to you a reality that matches your frequency. This happens whether you believe it or not, whether you're aware of it or not, whether you like it or not. Right now, as you're listening to these words, your subconscious mind is busy creating tomorrow's experiences based on today's inner state. It's taking inventory of your beliefs about yourself, your assumptions about what's possible for you, your feelings about your worth, your expectations about how others will treat you, and it's weaving all of this into the fabric of tomorrow's reality. This means something profound. You are not a victim of your circumstances. You are the unconscious creator of them. Every person in your life is there because some aspect of your consciousness has called them forth. Every situation you find yourself in exists because you have, on some level, impressed it upon your subconscious mind as inevitable. Now, before you reject this idea as too extreme, too impossible to accept, let me ask you this. Would you rather be a victim or a creator? Would you rather be at the mercy of forces beyond your control, or would you rather discover that you have been the force all along? I understand the resistance you might be feeling right now. Part of you is saying, but Neville, I would never consciously create suffering for myself. I would never choose poverty, illness, loneliness, or failure. You're absolutely right. Your conscious mind would never choose these things. But your subconscious mind doesn't distinguish between what you want and what you expect. It doesn't differentiate between what you hope for and what you fear. It simply creates experiences that match the dominant impressions you've given it. Think of your subconscious mind as the most faithful servant you could ever have. It never questions your instructions. It never argues with your assumptions. If you consistently think, I never have enough money, your subconscious mind says, yes, master, and creates experiences of not having enough money. If you repeatedly feel, nobody understands me, your subconscious mind says, as you wish, and manifests relationships where you feel misunderstood. It's not punishing you. It's not being cruel. It's being perfectly obedient to your inner conversations, your emotional patterns, your deepest assumptions about yourself and your world. Modern physics tells us that at the quantum level, everything exists in a state of superposition, all possibilities existing simultaneously until consciousness observes and selects one. Your subconscious mind is constantly performing this selection process, choosing which possibilities become your reality based on the templates you've given it through your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs. When quantum physicists speak of collapsing the wave function, they're describing the moment when infinite possibilities become singular reality. You are collapsing wave functions with every heartbeat, with every breath, with every unconscious assumption about what your life must be like. Let me share something with you that might seem impossible, but I assure you, it happened exactly as I'm about to tell you. Years ago, I found myself in desperate circumstances, financially ruined, reputation destroyed, seemingly no way forward. I had been teaching these principles for years, but now I was being tested by life itself. One evening, in my small apartment, broke and feeling defeated, I made a decision that changed everything. Instead of continuing to look at my circumstances and feel defeated by them, I decided to look from my circumstances to something different. I decided to live as if my desired reality was already true. I closed my eyes and began to imagine myself, not as I was broke and defeated, but as I would be when my fortunes changed. I felt the satisfaction, the relief, the joy of success. I had conversations in my imagination with friends who were congratulating me. I felt the texture of finer clothes, the comfort of a better home, the security of abundant resources. But here's the crucial part. I didn't do this as wishful thinking or fantasy. I did it as an act of creation. I impressed these images and feelings so deeply into my subconscious mind that they became more real to me than my current circumstances. Within weeks, opportunities began appearing that seemed to come from nowhere. People I hadn't heard from in years contacted me with propositions. Doors that had been closed suddenly opened. Money began flowing from unexpected sources. Was this magic? Was this coincidence? Or was this the natural result of consciousness creating reality from the inside out? Modern neuroscience has discovered something fascinating about the brain. It cannot distinguish between a vividly imagined experience and a real one. When you imagine something with emotional intensity and sensory detail, your brain creates the same neural pathways as if the experience actually happened. But it goes deeper than that. When you repeatedly imagine and feel a desired state, you're literally rewiring your subconscious mind. You're installing new templates, new assumptions, new expectations, and your subconscious mind, being the faithful servant it is, begins to manifest experiences that match these new templates. Quantum physics has revealed something even more extraordinary. The phenomenon of quantum entanglement, where particles separated by vast distances instantly affect each other. When the state of one particle changes, its entangled partner changes instantaneously, regardless of the space between them. Your consciousness is entangled with the quantum field of infinite possibilities. When you change your inner state, you instantly send ripples through this field, affecting probabilities, influencing outcomes, drawing certain experiences toward you while repelling others. This isn't abstract philosophy. This has practical implications for every area of your life. Your relationships exist in the state they do because of the assumptions you hold about yourself in relation to others. Your financial situation reflects your deep beliefs about your worth and what you deserve. Your health mirrors your fundamental feelings about life, vitality, and your right to thrive. Change the inner assumptions, and the outer world must change to match. This isn't a maybe. This isn't a hope. This is law, as reliable as gravity, as predictable as mathematics. Now I can hear the skeptic in you saying, if this is true, why isn't everyone wealthy, healthy, and happy? Why don't we all just imagine our problems away? The answer is simple but profound. Most people are unconscious creators. They're creating by default, not by design. They're impressing their subconscious mind with worry, doubt, fear, and limitation, then wondering why their lives reflect these inner states. Every time you say, "I can't afford that," you're giving your subconscious mind an instruction about your financial limitations. Every time you think, "This always happens to me," you're programming your subconscious to repeat unwanted patterns. Every time you feel, "I'm not good enough," you're creating experiences that confirm this belief. Most people are hypnotized by their circumstances. They look at their current reality and use it as evidence for what's possible for them. They say, "I believe it when I see it," not realizing that they must believe it before they can see it. Now, here's where everything changes. Instead of looking at your circumstances and letting them determine your inner state, you must learn to look from your desired state and let it determine your circumstances. This is the great reversal. This is the secret that separates conscious creators from unconscious victims. When you look at your bank account and feel poor, you're creating more poverty. When you look at your relationships and feel unloved, you're creating more experiences of being unloved. When you look at your body and feel sick, you're impressing sickness deeper into your cellular consciousness. But when you learn to feel wealthy regardless of your bank account, to feel loved regardless of your relationships, to feel healthy regardless of your current symptoms, this is when you begin to collapse different wave functions. This is when you begin to select different possibilities from the quantum field. Your external circumstances become temporary, passing phenomena that no longer have the power to dictate your inner state. You become the cause, not the effect. You become the artist, not the canvas. Science has discovered that your brain is neuroplastic. It can rewire itself throughout your entire life. Every thought you think, every emotion you feel, every experience you have creates neural pathways. Repeat the same thoughts and feelings often enough, and these pathways become superhighways, automatic, unconscious patterns that shape your behavior and your reality. But here's the extraordinary part. You can consciously create new neural pathways by vividly imagining and emotionally experiencing desired states. When you repeatedly imagine yourself as successful, healthy, loved, and abundant, not as fantasy, but as present reality, you create new neural networks that support these states. Quantum field theory suggests that underlying all physical reality is a field of pure potential, infinite possibilities existing in a state of superposition. Every possible version of your life exists in this field right now. The version where you're wealthy, the version where you're healthy, the version where you're loved, the version where you're living your deepest dreams. The question is, which version will your consciousness select? Which possibilities will you collapse into physical reality? Right now, at this very moment, you stand at a crossroads. You can continue living as you have been, unconsciously creating your reality through default patterns of thought and feeling. Or you can step into your role as conscious creator. You can continue being impressed by your circumstances, or you can begin impressing your circumstances with new possibilities. Now here's how you begin. Tonight, before you go to sleep, instead of reviewing the day's problems and tomorrow's worries, do something different. Close your eyes and construct a scene that would naturally occur if your desired reality were already true. If you want to be wealthy, imagine having a conversation with your banker about your substantial account balance. If you want to be healthy, imagine your doctor congratulating you on your perfect health. If you want to be loved, imagine someone you care about expressing their deep appreciation for you. But here's the crucial part. Don't imagine this as something that might happen in the future. Imagine it as something that is happening right now. Feel the emotions you would feel if this were your current reality. Make it so vivid, so real, so emotionally satisfying that your subconscious mind accepts it as truth. Repeat this process every night. Fall asleep in the feeling of your wish fulfilled. Let your subconscious mind work with these new impressions, while your conscious mind rests. Remember, quantum physics tells us that the observer affects the observed. By observing yourself as successful, healthy, loved, and abundant, not in hope or desire, but in present reality, you are affecting the quantum field of possibilities. You are biasing probability in your favor. This is why reality is an echo What you send out from consciousness returns to you as experience. The lag time between the inner cause and the outer effect might fool you into thinking they're unrelated, but the connection is absolute. Every person you meet, every opportunity that appears, every challenge you face, every blessing you receive, all of it is an echo of your consciousness. All of it is reflecting back to you what you've been broadcasting from within. The quantum field doesn't judge your requests. It doesn't decide whether you deserve what you're asking for. It simply responds to the frequency of your consciousness. It gives you experiences that match your dominant inner state. If you consistently feel unworthy, the field responds with experiences that confirm your unworthiness. If you consistently feel abundant, the field responds with experiences of abundance. It's not personal, it's mechanical, it's law. And this revelation brings both tremendous responsibility and incredible freedom. Responsibility because you can no longer blame external circumstances for your life experience. Freedom because you now know you have the power to change any aspect of your reality by changing your inner state. You are not a victim of genetics, circumstances, other people's choices, or random chance. You are the conscious creator of your experience, whether you've been aware of it or not. The moment you truly understand this, your life begins to transform. Not because external conditions change first, but because you stop waiting for external conditions to change before you allow yourself to feel the way you want to feel. You stop postponing your happiness until you get the job, the relationship, the house, the money. You start generating the feelings you want to experience right now, and you discover that the external conditions begin to align with your inner state. Your world becomes a mirror, constantly reflecting back to you the contents of your consciousness. When you change what's reflected in the mirror, you must first change what's standing in front of it. You cannot change your reflection by manipulating the mirror. You can only change your reflection by changing yourself. And here are the practical steps to begin your conscious creation journey. First, become aware of your current inner conversations. Notice what you consistently think and say about yourself, your life, and your possibilities. These unconscious scripts are the templates your subconscious mind is using to create your experiences. Second, identify the feelings you consistently experience. Do you predominantly feel worried, frustrated, disappointed, or limited? Or do you feel confident, grateful, excited, and expectant? Your emotional state is the frequency you're broadcasting to the quantum field. Third, decide what you want to experience instead. Not what you hope might happen someday, but what you choose to accept as true for yourself right now. Fourth, begin living from that desired state internally. Think from it, feel from it, speak from it, act from it. Make it so real in your inner world that your external world has no choice but to conform to it. This isn't a one-time exercise. This is a complete reorientation of how you relate to reality. It requires persistence, dedication, and faith in the unseen. Most people try this for a few days or weeks, and when they don't see immediate external changes, they return to their old patterns of thought and feeling. They give up just before the breakthrough would have occurred. Remember, there's often a delay between the inner cause and the outer effect. Just as there's a delay between shouting into a canyon and hearing the echo return, there's often a delay between impressing your subconscious mind with new patterns and seeing them manifest in your physical experience. This delay isn't arbitrary, it's part of the natural process of consciousness creating reality. Use this time to strengthen your faith, to deepen your conviction, to make your desired state more vivid and emotionally real. Now, as we come to the end of our time together tonight, I want to leave you with one final, life-changing revelation. You are not separate from the creative power of the universe. You are not a small, insignificant being hoping for crumbs from a distant god. You are consciousness itself, temporarily focused through this particular point of awareness you call yourself. The same creative power that spins galaxies into existence, that orchestrates the dance of atoms and molecules, that grows flowers from seeds, and heals cuts without your conscious interference. This same power is operating through your consciousness right now. Tonight, when you lay your head on your pillow, remember, you are not going to sleep as a victim of circumstances. You are going to sleep as a conscious creator with the power to impress new realities upon your subconscious mind. Tonight, instead of falling asleep in worry about tomorrow's challenges, fall asleep in the feeling of tomorrow's victories. Instead of drifting off in the consciousness of limitation, drift off in the consciousness of unlimited possibilities. Reality is an echo, and you are about to change the sound you're making. You are about to broadcast a new frequency. And when that echo returns to you, as it must, as it always does, you will recognize it as the sound of your own conscious creation. The quantum field is listening. Your subconscious mind is ready to receive new instructions. The infinite possibilities are waiting for your selection. What echo will you create tonight? What reality will you call forth from the field of infinite potential? The choice, as always, has been yours all along.
This moment changes everything, not because the world has suddenly shifted, but because you are deciding to see, feel, and receive differently. Transformation does not begin with effort, waiting, or improvement. It begins with acceptance. It begins when you stop preparing to receive and start receiving now. Life is not asking you to become worthy someday. It is responding to what you assume to be true about yourself in this very instant. Every moment you have ever experienced was shaped by an inner state that came first. Before events appeared, before circumstances formed, there was a quiet assumption within you, an expectation, a feeling, a knowing. You were never reacting to life. You were expressing what you believed life to be. And if that is true, then this moment holds extraordinary power. Because the moment you shift your inner stance, everything rearranges to match it. Receiving boldly does not mean forcing outcomes or demanding results. It means relaxing into certainty. It means dropping the habit of hesitation and choosing to occupy the state of fulfillment now. When you receive boldly, you no longer ask, when will it come? You ask, how would I feel if it were already mine? And once that feeling is assumed, the question dissolves, because the answer has already been accepted. Many people delay their lives by believing they must first see proof. But proof is not the cause, it is the effect. Reality follows identity. When you see yourself as one who receives easily, life confirms it. When you see yourself as one who must struggle, life reflects that too. The difference is never outside. It is always the position you take within. Bold receiving is an act of inner courage. It requires letting go of old stories about limitation, timing, and deserving. It requires releasing the idea that fulfillment must arrive dramatically or through hardship. In truth, what is meant for you moves naturally toward you the moment you stop resisting it with doubt. The unseen does not need your effort. It needs your consent. This moment changes everything because it is the moment you decide to live from the end, not toward it. You stop reaching and start resting. You stop hoping and start knowing. The inner shift may feel subtle, but its impact is absolute. Once the feeling of fulfillment becomes familiar, the world has no option but to echo it. When you allow yourself to begin, you echo it. Receive boldly now, not tomorrow, not after conditions improve, now. Because now is when identity is chosen, assumptions are set, and reality takes its cue. When you allow yourself to receive without hesitation, life responds without delay. This moment is not passing you by. It is offering you everything. Waiting only for your acceptance, the present moment is the only point of creative power because it is the only moment in which consciousness is alive and active. The past exists only as memory. and the future exists only as imagination. Neither has the ability to act, respond, or create. All creation happens now through what you are aware of, what you feel to be true, and what you accept as real in this instant. The moment you understand this, you stop looking backward for causes and stop waiting forward for permission. You realize that power has always been with you, concentrated in the present. What you assume in this moment sets the direction for what unfolds next. Life does not respond to what you wish for occasionally or think about passively. It responds to what you are being right now. Your inner state is the instruction you are constantly giving to reality. If you feel uncertain, life mirrors uncertainty. If you feel fulfilled, life moves to confirm fulfillment. The present moment is where this instruction is issued, and it is issued continuously, whether consciously or unconsciously. Most people unknowingly give their creative power away by believing that time creates change. They think things will improve later, once conditions shift or circumstances align. But time does not create, it only reveals. What is revealed tomorrow is born from what is assumed today. Waiting for the future to change without changing the present state is like expecting a different reflection without altering what stands before the mirror. The present moment is also the only place where identity can be chosen. You cannot become someone new in the past, and you cannot inhabit a state in the future. You can only claim it now. The moment you assume a new self-concept, you step into a new stream of experience. That assumption may feel quiet and internal, but it is more powerful than any external action because it changes the cause, not the effect. Creative power is not found in effort or struggle, it is found in alignment. When your thoughts, feelings, and inner conversations agree with the reality you wish to experience, creation becomes effortless. This alignment can only occur now. You do not need to fix yesterday or control tomorrow. You only need to occupy the feeling of the fulfilled desire in the present moment, and life reorganizes itself around that state. When you return your attention to the present, you reclaim authority over your experience. You stop reacting to appearances and start originating them. You recognize that every now is a doorway, and each doorway leads to a different outcome, depending on what you bring into it. By choosing awareness, certainty, and acceptance, now, you activate the only power that has ever created anything. The present moment is not just a point in time, it is the source from which all realities flow. Receiving is an inner decision, not an outer permission, because nothing outside of you has the authority to decide what you may experience. Life does not grant, approve, or withhold. It reflects. What appears as opportunity, abundance, love, or success is not released by circumstances, but revealed by inner acceptance. The moment you decide that something is allowed for you, reality begins arranging itself to confirm that decision. Most delays are not caused by external obstacles, but by internal hesitation. People wait for signs, validation, or approval before they allow themselves to feel fulfilled. They believe they must earn the right to receive through struggle, perfection, or time. Yet this waiting is itself the barrier. When you look to the outside for permission, you silently declare that you are not the source. And when you do that, life mirrors hesitation instead of flow. An inner decision is quiet but absolute. It does not argue, justify, or explain. It simply assumes. When you decide inwardly that you are someone who receives, your inner dialogue changes. Your expectations soften. Your reactions lose urgency. You stop asking, "Why hasn't it happened yet?" and begin moving as someone for whom it is natural. This shift may feel subtle, but it is decisive because reality responds to what feels normal to you, not to what you desire from a distance. Outer conditions often appear rigid, but they are far more flexible than they seem. What gives them their power is the meaning you assign to them. The moment you change that meaning, conditions begin to loosen. When you decide that you are not waiting to receive, but actively receiving now, the sense of struggle dissolves. You are no longer negotiating with life, you are accepting from it. Receiving does not require force or demand. It requires allowance. Allowance is an inner posture of openness, trust, and expectancy. It is a willingness to let good arrive without suspicion or fear. Many people unconsciously block their own receiving by feeling unworthy, unprepared, or uncertain. These feelings are not facts. They are habits of thought. The moment you decide differently, those habits lose their influence. The most powerful moment of receiving is when you stop asking whether it is possible and begin feeling as though it is done. This is not pretending or hoping, it is accepting. When acceptance becomes your inner state, life responds effortlessly. You find yourself in the right place, meeting the right people, encountering the right opportunities without strain. Receiving is not something that happens to you. It is something you permit. And permission is always given within. When you choose to receive boldly, without waiting for proof, you activate a natural flow that has always been available. The outer world does not decide your readiness. Your inner decision does. Assumption shapes reality before action ever begins because every action is preceded by an inner conclusion about what is possible, likely, or true. Long before you move, speak, or decide, you have already assumed something about yourself and about life. That assumption becomes the invisible framework through which all experiences are formed. Action does not create results on its own. It simply expresses the state you are already living from. Every person acts in alignment with what feels natural to them. What feels natural is not determined by logic or effort, but by assumption. If you assume success is difficult, your actions carry hesitation, tension, and doubt. If you assume success is inevitable, your actions become calm, direct, and confident. The difference is not the action itself, but the state behind it. Reality responds to the state, not the strain. Most people try to change outcomes by forcing behavior while leaving their assumptions untouched. This creates resistance. They push, plan, and try harder, yet feel blocked or delayed. The unseen cause remains the same, so the visible effect repeats. When assumption changes, however, action reorganizes itself automatically. You do not need to force new habits. They arise naturally from a new inner position. Assumption also determines what you notice and what you ignore. Life presents countless possibilities, but you only perceive the ones that align with what you already believe. When you assume opportunity, you recognize openings others overlook. When you assume limitation, even open doors appear closed. The world has not changed. Your lens has. That lens is set by assumption long before any physical movement takes place. Before action begins, the outcome has already been accepted internally. This is why two people can take similar actions and experience entirely different results. One moves from trust, the other from fear. One expects support, the other expects resistance. Life mirrors these expectations with precision. Action simply gives form to what assumption has already selected. Changing assumption does not require struggle or repetition of effort. It requires recognition. The moment you become aware of the state you are assuming, you regain choice. You can decide to occupy a different inner position now. When you do, action feels lighter, clearer, and more effective because it is no longer compensating for doubt. It is flowing from certainty. The most powerful action is alignment. When you assume the feeling of the desired reality before it appears, you step into harmony with it. From that state, inspired actions emerge effortlessly, and sometimes no action is needed at all. Things happen through you rather than because of you. Assumption is the silent beginning of every result. Change it, and the entire sequence that follows must change as well. Reality does not wait for action to begin shaping itself. It responds instantly to what you have already accepted as true. Goal reception dissolves delay and struggle, because waiting and effort are often signs of inner resistance, not external obstacles. When you hesitate to receive, you unconsciously signal that what you desire is distant, difficult, or uncertain. Life responds to that signal by mirroring distance and delay. The moment you receive boldly, you remove the inner friction that was slowing everything down. Struggle is rarely about the task itself. It is about the belief that something must be earned through strain. This belief creates tension, urgency, and impatience. You push against life instead of moving with it. Bold reception shifts this dynamic entirely. It replaces effort with acceptance. Instead of asking how long it will take or what else must be done, you settle into the feeling that it is already yours. That inner settlement changes the pace of everything. Delay is not imposed by time, it is sustained by doubt. Doubt keeps the mind oscillating between hope and fear, creating inconsistency in expectation. Life reflects this inconsistency as interruptions, setbacks, or slow movement. When you receive boldly, doubt loses its footing. There is no inner debate, no second guessing. There is simply a calm assumption that what is desired belongs to you now. From that state, events begin to align smoothly and naturally. Bold reception does not mean impatience or demand. It means certainty. It is a quiet confidence that does not rush because it does not fear loss. When you know something is yours, you do not chase it. You allow it. This allowance creates space for life to move without resistance. Opportunities arrive without force. Solutions appear without struggle. What once felt heavy begins to feel inevitable. Many people unknowingly extend struggle by trying to control the process. They monitor progress, measure time, and react emotionally to appearances. Each reaction reinforces the idea that fulfillment is not yet secure. Bold reception ends this cycle by withdrawing attention from lack and placing it on completion. You stop watching the clock and start living as though the outcome is settled. You start living as though the outcome is settled. When reception becomes bold, the nervous system relaxes. The mind stops grasping. This inner relaxation is not passive. It is powerful. It signals readiness, trust, and alignment. Life responds to this signal with speed, not because you forced anything, but because nothing is blocking the flow anymore. The moment you allow yourself to receive without conditions, struggle becomes unnecessary. You realize that ease was always available, waiting for your consent. Delay dissolves, not when circumstances change, but when your inner posture changes. Bold reception is that shift. It is the decision to stop waiting, stop proving, and start allowing now. Feeling fulfilled precedes visible change because reality is an outer echo of an inner condition. What appears in your world is not the cause of your state, but the result of it. Fulfillment is not something you experience after life changes. It is something you assume before life has any reason to reflect it. When fulfillment is established within, the outer world must follow, because it has no independent direction of its own. Most people reverse this order. They wait for circumstances to improve before allowing themselves to feel satisfied, secure, or whole. This waiting silently affirms that fulfillment is absent now. Life responds to that affirmation by maintaining the appearance of lack. The cycle continues not because fulfillment is impossible, but because it is being postponed inwardly. Change cannot precede the state that causes it. Feeling fulfilled does not mean ignoring reality or pretending problems do not exist. It means choosing the emotional and mental position of completion, regardless of appearances. When you feel fulfilled, you are no longer seeking validation from outcomes. You are grounded in a sense of enoughness. This inner stability removes urgency and desperation, which are the very energies that delay change. Fulfillment changes how you move through life. Decisions become clearer, reactions soften, you stop overthinking and start responding naturally. From this state, actions are aligned rather than forced. Often the right steps appear without conscious effort, and sometimes circumstances shift without any action at all. This is because the cause has already been set. Visible change requires an invisible shift first. Just as a seed grows unseen before breaking the surface, your inner state must change before the outer world can reveal anything new. The feeling of fulfillment is that unseen growth. It may not be dramatic, but it is decisive. Once it is established, the outer form is inevitable. When you feel fulfilled now, you send a clear message to life. Nothing is missing. Life responds by arranging conditions that match that message. Opportunities appear that feel natural rather than surprising. Relationships reflect ease instead of tension. Resources flow without struggle. These changes are not sudden miracles. They are confirmations of a state you have already occupied. The mind often resists this idea because it equates fulfillment with complacency. In truth, fulfillment is the highest form of readiness. It signals confidence, trust, and alignment. It is not the end of desire, but the fulfillment of it internally, which frees life to express it externally. Every lasting change begins with a feeling. When that feeling is fulfillment, the change that follows is stable and effortless. The world cannot help but mirror what you consistently feel to be true. When fulfillment becomes your inner home, visible change becomes unavoidable. Identity determines what you allow into your life because your self-concept acts as an internal filter for every experience you encounter. You do not receive according to what you want, hope for, or even work toward. You receive according to who you believe yourself to be. What feels acceptable, natural, or possible to you is decided by identity long before circumstances appear. Life simply agrees with the image you hold of yourself. Your identity sets the boundaries of your expectations. If you see yourself as someone who struggles, you unconsciously reject ease when it approaches. If you see yourself as someone who must prove worth, you delay receiving until effort feels sufficient. These reactions are not conscious choices. They are automatic responses rooted in self-definition. You are not being denied. You are allowing only what matches your inner agreement. What you allow feels normal to you. This is why certain opportunities, relationships, or outcomes seem to arrive effortlessly for some and feel unreachable for others. The difference is not luck or timing, it is self-permission. When something aligns with your identity, you accept it without question. When it does not, you hesitate, overthink, or sabotage, even if you desire it deeply. Identity also shapes how you interpret events. The same situation can feel like confirmation or rejection depending on who you assume yourself to be. A delay can feel like failure to one person and alignment to another. A challenge can feel like proof of limitation or evidence of growth. These interpretations are not random, they are consistent with identity. Life reflects this consistency faithfully. Changing what you allow does not begin with controlling behavior or circumstances. It begins with redefining self-concept. When you shift how you see yourself, your standards change automatically. You no longer tolerate what contradicts your new identity, and you no longer resist what supports it. This shift feels internal, but its effects are immediate and external. The moment you identify as someone who receives easily, ease stops feeling foreign. The moment you identify as someone worthy of success, success no longer feels intimidating. You stop bracing for disappointment and start expecting alignment. From this state, life opens without force because resistance has dissolved. Identity is not fixed. It is assumed moment by moment. Every inner conversation either reinforces an old self-illusion or introduces a new one. When you consciously choose your identity, you reclaim authority over what enters your experience. You are no longer reacting to life, you are setting the terms. What you allow into your life is not controlled by circumstances, other people, or chance. It is governed by who you believe yourself to be. Change the identity and permission expands. When identity aligns with fulfillment, life has no choice but to meet you there. Identity determines what you allow into your life because your self-perception quietly governs every yes and no you make, even when you believe you are acting logically. You do not evaluate experiences neutrally. You measure them against an inner definition of who you are and what belongs to you. Whatever agrees with that definition is welcomed with ease, while anything that contradicts it is questioned, delayed, or dismissed, no matter how desirable it appears. Your identity shapes your comfort zone, and your comfort zone determines your reality. What feels comfortable is not always what is best, but it is always what is familiar. If struggle is familiar, ease feels suspicious. If inconsistency is familiar, stability feels foreign. These reactions are not conscious resistance. They are automatic protections of identity. You unconsciously protect who you believe you are, even when that belief limits you. Life continuously offers possibilities, but you only receive the ones that feel permissible. Permission is not granted by circumstances or other people. It is granted by self-concept. When you believe you are worthy, supported, and capable, you allow good things to arrive without interrogation. When you believe you must earn, fight, or wait, you impose conditions on receiving. Life follows those conditions precisely. Identity also determines how long you allow situations to remain unchanged. If you identify as someone who endures, you tolerate dissatisfaction longer than necessary. If you identify as someone who expects alignment, you adjust quickly when something no longer matches your inner standard. This is not arrogance, it is clarity. Your identity sets the baseline for what you consider acceptable. Many people attempt to change outcomes without changing identity. They try to think positively while still seeing themselves as limited. This creates inner conflict. Results may improve temporarily, but they rarely stabilize. Lasting change requires a shift in who you are being, not just what you are doing. When identity changes, behavior, choices, and outcomes follow effortlessly. Identity is reinforced through inner dialogue. The way you speak to yourself, the expectations you quietly hold, and the stories you repeat all shape what you allow. Every time you accept less than what you desire, you strengthen an old self-image. Every time you allow yourself to feel fulfilled now, you introduce a new one. The most powerful change happens when you decide that your identity no longer includes lack, waiting, or struggle. You do not need to prove this decision to anyone. The moment it feels true internally, your standards shift. You stop negotiating with life and start allowing it to meet you differently. What enters your life is not random, it is invited by identity. When you redefine yourself from the inside, permission expands naturally. Life responds not to effort, but to self-recognition. When you see yourself as someone who receives, life treats you accordingly. Everything you have heard points to one simple truth. Nothing changes until you do. And the moment you do, everything else must follow. Creation does not happen through force, waiting, or effort. It happens through awareness, assumption, and identity. The present moment is your point of power. What you decide to receive inwardly becomes the pattern life reflects outwardly. When you stop asking for permission, stop postponing fulfillment, and stop defining yourself by old limitations, reality has no choice but to rearrange itself in response. This is not about becoming someone new in the future. It is about recognizing who you are now. When you assume fulfillment, receive boldly, and allow yourself to live from certainty rather than hope, struggle dissolves and delay loses its meaning. Identity sets the standard, feeling sets the direction, and the present moment activates the shift. From that alignment, change becomes natural, effortless, and inevitable. You are not here to chase outcomes. You are here to embody the state from which outcomes flow. The moment you choose that state, life meets you there. Thank you.
Good evening, my dear friends. Tonight I want to speak to you about the most faithful servant you will ever know, yet one that most of you have never consciously encountered. This servant works for you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, without rest, without complaint, without question. It carries out your every instruction with perfect precision, though you may be completely unaware that you are giving these instructions. I am speaking of your subconscious mind, that vast, powerful realm of consciousness that operates beneath the threshold of your awareness, yet determines every experience you have in this world. Tonight I want to reveal to you how this invisible force has been shaping your entire life, and more importantly, how you can consciously direct it to create any reality you desire. Most people live their entire lives never realizing that they possess within themselves a power so great that it can transform any circumstance, heal any condition, and manifest any dream. They go through life as victims of circumstance, never understanding that they are actually the creators of every experience they encounter. The revelation that changed my understanding forever came through a simple observation. Some people seem to effortlessly attract success, love, and abundance, while others struggle endlessly for the same things. What was the difference? It was not intelligence, not education, not even effort. The difference lay in what these successful people had impressed upon their subconscious minds. You see, your subconscious mind is like fertile soil. It will grow whatever seeds you plant in it. Whether they are seeds of success or seeds of failure, seeds of health or seeds of sickness, seeds of love or seeds of loneliness. The subconscious mind does not judge the nature of the seed. It simply grows whatever is planted with absolute faithfulness. From the moment you were born, seeds have been planted in your subconscious mind. Every word spoken around you, every emotion you witnessed, every belief expressed in your presence was absorbed by this faithful servant and accepted as truth about the nature of reality. When your parents worried about money, your subconscious recorded money is scarce and causes anxiety. When someone said life is hard, your subconscious filed away, existence is struggle. When you were told to be realistic about your dreams, your subconscious learned desires are dangerous and disappointment is likely. These early impressions became the foundation of your subconscious programming, and this programming has been faithfully creating experiences that match these early beliefs throughout your entire life. But here is the beautiful truth that I want to share with you tonight. Your subconscious mind cannot tell the difference between an imagined experience and a real one. To your subconscious, imagination is reality. And this, my friends, is the key to your freedom. When the Bible speaks of being transformed by the renewal of your mind, it is referring to this exact process, the conscious reprogramming of your subconscious mind through the power of imagination. Let me tell you about a woman who came to me in despair. She had been struggling with poverty for years, working multiple jobs yet never seeming to get ahead. Neville, she said, I affirm abundance every day, but nothing changes. What am I doing wrong? I observed that while she was consciously affirming abundance, her subconscious was running programs of lack and limitation that had been installed in childhood. Her father had repeatedly said, we can't afford it, and her mother had constantly worried about bills. These statements had been accepted by her young subconscious mind as absolute truth about the nature of money and security. No amount of conscious affirmation could overcome these deeply rooted subconscious beliefs, because the subconscious is infinitely more powerful than the conscious mind. It is like trying to bail out a boat while someone is drilling holes in the bottom faster than you can bail. I taught this woman to speak directly to her subconscious mind through the language it understands. Vivid, emotionally charged imagination. Instead of merely affirming, I am abundant, I showed her how to create detailed imaginal scenes of abundance that felt completely real to her senses. Every night before sleep, when the conscious mind grows quiet and the subconscious becomes most receptive, she would imagine herself in scenes that implied her financial freedom. She would feel the satisfaction of easily paying all her bills. She would imagine the joy of purchasing beautiful things without concern for cost. She would experience the peace of having more money than she could spend. She made these imaginal scenes so vivid, so emotionally real, that her subconscious accepted them as actual experiences. And because the subconscious cannot distinguish between a vividly imagined experience and a real one, it began to create conditions in her outer world that matched these inner experiences. Within 3 months, she received an unexpected inheritance from a distant relative she had never met. Within 6 months, she had been offered a position with double her previous salary. Within a year, she had achieved the financial freedom she had imagined so vividly in her mind. Her conscious mind wanted to attribute these changes to luck or coincidence, but I knew better. Her subconscious mind had faithfully carried out the instructions she had given it through imagination. It had attracted circumstances, people, and opportunities that matched the reality she had impressed upon it. This brings us to one of the most important truths I can share with you. Your subconscious mind is not your enemy. It is your most faithful friend. It has never failed to carry out your instructions. The problem is that most people give their subconscious conflicting or negative instructions without realizing it. When you worry about your finances, you are instructing your subconscious to create more financial problems. When you fear rejection in love, you are programming your subconscious to manifest experiences of rejection. When you expect things to go wrong, you are commanding your subconscious to arrange circumstances where things do indeed go wrong. Your subconscious mind is supremely obedient. It says yes to everything you consistently impress upon it. It never argues, never reasons, never questions, It simply executes whatever program you install. But here is the wonderful news. You can change the programming at any time. You can install new programs of health instead of sickness, abundance instead of lack, love instead of loneliness. The method is always the same: controlled, vivid imagination accompanied by the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Let me share with you the story of a man who was told by doctors that his condition was incurable. For months, he had been programming his subconscious with images of sickness and limitation by constantly thinking about his symptoms and imagining worst-case scenarios. When he came to understand these principles, he decided to give his subconscious mind different instructions. Every evening he would enter a state of deep relaxation and imagine himself in perfect health. He would feel the strength flowing through his body, experience the joy of unlimited energy, and see himself engaging in all the activities that perfect health would allow. He made these imaginal experiences so real that his subconscious mind accepted them as actual experiences of perfect health. And because the subconscious mind controls every function of the body, it began to align his physical condition with the healthy images he was consistently impressing upon it. His doctors called his recovery miraculous, but there was no miracle involved. His subconscious mind had simply carried out the new instructions he had given it through imagination. It had reorganized his physical body to match the healthy reality he had been consistently imaging. The key to successful subconscious programming lies in understanding how the subconscious mind operates. It responds most readily to images rather than words, to emotions rather than logic, to repetition rather than single experiences. Your subconscious mind is most receptive during the drowsy state just before sleep, when your conscious critical faculty is relaxed. This is why I always recommend doing your imaginal work in the evening before sleep. In this state, the barriers between conscious and subconscious are thinnest, and your imaginal impressions can penetrate directly into the subconscious mind. But you must be consistent. Just as you would not expect a single seed to transform an entire garden overnight, you cannot expect a single imaginal session to completely reprogram years of conditioning. You must patiently and persistently impress the new patterns upon your subconscious mind until they become its dominant programming. The feeling is the secret, my friends. Your subconscious mind responds not to the images themselves, but to the feeling accompanying the images. When you imagine your desire fulfilled, you must feel the joy, relief, gratitude, or satisfaction that would naturally accompany its fulfillment. This feeling is what convinces your subconscious mind that the imagined experience is real. Many people fail in this work because they imagine mechanically, without feeling. They create vivid mental pictures, but remain emotionally cold. The subconscious mind is not impressed by cold, lifeless images. It responds to the warmth of genuine feeling. Let me tell you about a young man who desired to be a successful actor, but had been rejected at countless auditions. His subconscious had been programmed with beliefs about rejection and failure through years of disappointing experiences. I taught him to ignore his current circumstances completely, and instead live in the reality of his fulfilled desire. Every night, he would imagine himself receiving applause after a brilliant performance. He would feel the satisfaction of bringing a character to life, the joy of audience appreciation, the pride of professional success. He made these imaginal experiences so emotionally real that his subconscious mind accepted them as actual experiences of success. Within months, he was called back for roles he had never thought possible. Within a year, he had achieved the success he had been imagining so faithfully. The secret was that he had given his subconscious mind a new set of instructions. Instead of programming it with images of rejection and failure, he programmed it with images of success and achievement. His faithful subconscious mind carried out these new instructions with the same precision it had carried out the old ones. This principle applies to every area of life. Your relationships reflect what you have impressed upon your subconscious mind about love and connection. Your health reflects what you have programmed regarding your body and vitality. Your financial situation reflects your subconscious beliefs about money and abundance. But remember, your subconscious mind works through natural means. It does not violate natural law. It fulfills natural law at a level most people never understand. When you impress upon your subconscious mind the reality of your desire fulfilled, it begins to attract the people, circumstances, and opportunities that will make that reality manifest in your outer world. Some call this coincidence. Some call it luck. Some call it miracle. I call it the natural operation of the subconscious mind, which is connected to the infinite intelligence that governs all things. Your subconscious mind knows how to bring about whatever you consistently impress upon it. It knows which people to bring into your life, which opportunities to present, which doors to open. Trust it completely, but give it clear, consistent instructions through the language it understands. Imagination filled with feeling. Now you might ask, but Neville, how do I know if I'm successfully programming my subconscious mind? The answer is simple. Observe your outer world. Your external circumstances are a perfect reflection of your subconscious programming. If you don't like what you're experiencing, you know you need to change the program. This work requires patience and persistence. Your current circumstances were not created overnight, and they will not change overnight. But if you persist in impressing the new patterns upon your subconscious mind, change is inevitable. The subconscious mind cannot help but express whatever is consistently impressed upon it. Let me leave you with this truth. You are not the victim of your circumstances. You are the creator of your circumstances through the programming of your subconscious mind. Every experience in your life is being created by this faithful servant working from the programs you have given it. But tonight, you can begin giving it new programs. You can begin impressing upon it images of health instead of sickness, abundance instead of lack, love instead of loneliness, success instead of failure. Your subconscious mind is waiting for your instructions. It will carry out whatever you consistently impress upon it with absolute faithfulness. What will you choose to program? What reality will you instruct this faithful servant to create for you? The choice is yours, and the power is within you. Use it wisely. As always, thank you for joining me on this journey into the depths of consciousness. Remember, you are not here by accident. You are here because your soul is ready for this truth. Take these teachings and let them transform not just your mind, but your entire reality. Until we meet again in consciousness, keep assuming your greatness and living from the end of your desires. This is Best of Lectures. I will see you in the next video.